Okay, so we're going to go over Millie's commands to show you how you can stay consistent with her once she goes home. So her first command is heel. This is going to be loose leash walking on your left hand side. So Millie's supposed to be right next to you with her head right next to your thigh. And you want to have a nice relaxed arm and a nice relaxed leash. That way when she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, there's no pressure on her prong collar. So again, that is loose leash walking or heel. Her next command is a sit stay. So you'll ask Millie to sit. And then when you want Millie to stay in that position while you walk away to go do something, you're just going to remind Millie sit before you walk away from her. And then you can go do what you want. Then you'll go all the way back to Millie, reward her, good job, good sit, give her a treat. And then if you're ready for her to get up, you can tell her free or heel to let her know what she's supposed to be doing next. So that is a sit stay. Again, you'll ask Millie to sit. Then you'll remind her sit before you walk away. Then you'll go all the way back to her to reward and release her. Her next command is a down stay. So same as this sit stay, you're going to ask Millie to go into that down position. Once she's in that down position, you can walk away, but you'll just remind her down before you walk away. Then after you're done doing whatever you were doing, you'll go all the way back to Millie to reward and release her. Coming all the way back to Millie makes that stay a little bit stronger because she's not going to get excited when you come in the room, because maybe you get in the habit of always releasing her from a sit stay or a down stay when you come back into the doorway. So then even if you don't want her to get up, if she sees you come into that doorway, she's going to automatically get up. So to keep that stay a little bit stronger, we're going to go all the way back to her, good sit or good down, and then we can release her by saying free or heel, again, whatever you wanted her to do next. So that is a down stay. Her next command is a place stay. So unlike the sit stay and the down stay, Millie's now going to be on an elevated boundary. So she doesn't have to stay in a sit or a down. She just has to stay on the bed. She can't be destructive and she can't be loud. But she can stand on the bed, she can sit on the bed, she can lay down, she can move around a little bit, she can have toys, food, and treats on there. Again, as long as she's being quiet, not being destructive, and she's staying on the bed, she pretty much has the freedom to kind of do what she wants. So that is a place stay. You'll ask Millie or send Millie to place. And then once she's on that place bed, you're just going to remind her place again before you walk away. Then you can go cook dinner, let guests in the house, maybe watch a movie towards the end of the night while Millie's still on place. Every once in a while, again, you just want to give her those little reminders, good place. Maybe you walk by, good place, give her a treat. And then you continue to what you were doing. But you'll send or walk Millie to place. You'll remind her place before you walk away. Throw a few reminders in there if you're keeping her on there for a long period of time. And then same as the sit stay and the down stay, you'll go all the way back to her on that place bed. Good place. And then you can release her by saying free or heel. Again, whatever you want her to do next. So that is place stay. Her next command is recall or come when called. So this is what you use if you let Millie outside, or maybe you go to a park and you want to let her roam for a little bit. If you're going to be in an unfenced in area, I would recommend having her on some sort of 30 to 50 foot leash. That way you still have her on some kind of leash just in case you're by a road or other people and other dogs. But if you're in a fenced in area, as long as she has her remote collar on, you don't necessarily have to have that long leash on. But for recall, Millie's going to be free to do what she wants, explore, go to the bathroom a little bit, sniff, run around. And then when you're ready for her to come back to you, you're going to say come to let Millie know that you want her to come back to you. Once she's on her way back to you, you can verbally praise her as she's coming back. Good girl, Millie, good job. Once she's back to you and sitting, then you can reward her for coming back to you. We want to be really exciting with this one. So when she's on her way back to you, be verbally praising her. Be fun and exciting to get her to come back to you and not get distracted by other things. Once she's back to you and sitting, give her some treats. Give her a lot of pets. Let her know that coming back to you is a big deal and you want to see that again. So that is recall. Again, she's out playing or sniffing, going to the bathroom. You're ready for her to come back to you. You say come really loud and firm. That way she can hear and understand the command. Verbally praise her as she's on her way back. I also like to take a few steps backwards to welcome her into my space and let her know she's not being chased. Once she's back to you and sitting, you can reward her. Then she's expected to stay in that sit until you release her again by saying free, or if you're done, by telling her heel to leave wherever you were. So that is recall or come when called. And then her last command is leave it. So this is a command you'll use if you drop something on the ground, or if something's on the ground that you don't want Millie to have. Always practice this with dog safe foods first. So chicken, hot dogs, her dog food, different treats for her. Drop those on the ground, ask Millie to leave it. And then if she does, reward her from something in your hand. And then you can either tell her okay to let her know she's free and safe to have whatever was on the ground, or you can pick that up and either put it away or offer it to her as another treat for waiting for you. So that is leave it. Again, dog safe foods first. That way you can prepare her for situations where it's pills or medicine that she's not supposed to have or that would put her in danger. So that is leave it. To repeat her commands, they are heel, loose leash walking on the left hand side, a sit stay, a down stay, a place stay, recall or come when called, and leave it. So those are Millie's commands, and when she does those commands correctly and when we ask, we want to be sure to reward her for those commands. This is her job now, so we need to be sure to motivate her and pay her for doing her job. But then she also has consequences if she decides to do unwanted behaviors or not listen to the commands. So we have her collars, that way we can communicate that with her. So her first collar is going to be her prong collar. And to get this on and off of Millie, you will hold one prong, and then with the prong that's attached to that one, you're just going to grab it and pull up to get it apart. Then to get it back together, once it's around her neck, you'll put one side in, pinch the two together so that the second one goes in, and it'll slide right in. So that's how to get the prong collar apart and back together. And this is going to sit on Millie's neck like this. If she does unwanted behaviors, we're just going to say no to give her a warning that she did an unwanted behavior. Then we're going to follow through with our correction, which is just going to be a light pop of this leash. Then, after we've given her the correction, we're going to remind her of the command that she was doing or that she was asked to do. So if she's supposed to be healing, that means she's supposed to be back here by our left side of our body. If she decides to go too far forward or off to the side, we're going to say no, give her a quick pop and release. So we're going to pop it, but then we're going to relax it completely again. And then we're going to remind her that she's supposed to be healing. So no, pop and release, heel. That way she knows she's supposed to come back here. If she gets up from a sit stay, we're going to say no, give her a quick pop and release up, and remind her sit. If she gets up from a down stay, opposite of a sit stay, we're going to say no, pop and release down, and then remind her down. Same for place. If she gets off a place, no, pop and release towards the place bed and remind her place. If she doesn't come back when you're doing recall and you have her on that long leash, you can say no, give her a pop and release with that long leash towards you and remind her come. If she doesn't leave it right away when you ask, you're going to say no, give her a quick pop and release and remind her leave it. So that's how to correct her with the prong collar. And then for her remote collar, we're just going to go quickly over the features that you'll need for her corrections. And then towards the end of this video, we'll go over this remote collar more in depth to let you know about all of the features. So to get her collar turned on the side of this remote here, there's a small red dot. And on the side of her collar here, there's another small red dot. These are magnets. And we're going to tap them together quickly until we see that green light flash. That means that your collar is turned on. And then to turn your remote on the back of your remote, there's an L button in the center here. You're going to press and hold that button until your screen lights up. So now both her remote and her collar are turned on. And then on the front of the screen here, you'll see level 32. That is Millie's correction level. And on the side of her remote, you'll see the black S button. That is going to be the button that is her correction level. So same as the prong collar, we're going to say no, give her a small correction, and then remind her what she's supposed to be doing. So I'm going to use my hand as Millie's neck for now. And then if Millie's supposed to be back here healing, maybe you still have her leash on, but you want to get more into using the remote collar. If she gets too far ahead of you, you're going to say no, press the black S button and remind her heel. If she gets up from a sit stay, you're going to say no, press the black S button and remind her sit. If she gets up from a down stay, no, button down. If she gets off of place, no, black S button, place. If she doesn't come back for a recall, no, black S button, come. If she doesn't leave something in the house when you ask her to, no, black S button, leave it. So that's how to correct her with this remote collar. Again, no. Then we press our button where we give a pop of our leash to correct her, and then we remind her what she's supposed to be doing. So that's how to correct Millie for not listening to her commands or getting up from a different command. We want to be sure to be firm with our corrections. Let Millie know that she's no longer in charge and that she still has to listen to us when we ask. But we also want to be sure to have fun with Millie. So if she does good behaviors, if she's listening really well, be fun and exciting. She's still a dog. She has a lot of energy. So sometimes we need to match that energy to let her know that she's doing a good job. So that's how to reward and correct her for her behaviors, and those are her commands, and now we're going to show you her commands.
Good job. Good heel. Good girl. Heel. Good. Good job. Good heel. Good girl. Good heel. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Good sit. Sit.
Down. Good girl. Good down. Good down. Good girl. Good down. Good girl, Millie. Good down. Good down. Good girl. Good girl. Good down. Free. Good job.
Sit. Sit. Free. Okay. Good job. Free. We'll do it again. Okay, let's go. Leave it. Yes. Good girl. Leave it. Leave it. Yes. Good job. Okay. 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 This one. Okay. Oh, Benny Rose, good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, good girl. Place. Good girl. Good job, Millie. Good girl. Good place. Place. Good girl. Good place.
Okay, so now that we've gone over and shown you Millie's commands, we're going to go over her collars a bit more in depth. So I'm going to show you this prong collar one more time. To get this on and off of her, you're going to hold one prong firm, and then you're going to take the second prong that's attached to it, you're going to hold on to it, and you're going to pull up to get it apart. Then to get it back together, you'll put one side in, and then you'll pinch the two prongs together, and it'll slide in the second one, and then you can slide it on in. So that is the prong collar. Again, this is a no pop and release, and then we reward her. We want to make sure that if she's doing what we want, or if we've already given her a correction, that we hold our leash nice and loose and we relax the prong collar. That way there's not constant pressure on this. So that is her prong collar. And then we have her remote collar. So like I said, to give her a correction, you're going to say no, press the black S button, and then remind her what she's supposed to be doing. So that is her correction level. Again, that is level 32. You'll see under this black S button, there is a red S button. That is what we call Millie's boost or emergency feature. So this, I have not had to use it on Millie, but if you do, it'll be in situations where she gets loose and she's running towards the road. Situations that are going to put her in danger, where her adrenaline is up and her normal correction level is not working. So what you'll do in that situation is say no, press the red S button and call her back to you. and you're going to press that repeatedly until you get her attention. As you can see, level 32 is the regular correction, and then the black S button is level 62. That doubles her level to get her attention because, again, her adrenaline goes up in those situations, so she may not always be able to feel level 32 in those situations where she's excited or running towards the road or playing too rough, different situations like that where you may need to use that button. But on the other side of her remote is the T button. This is the vibrate feature, and you can see in here on the box that it kind of just vibrates the collar. This can be used, I like to use it once I've turned on my remote and my collar. I like to press that T button just to make sure in my hand that they're both on and connected. But if you've been working with Millie for a while and she's really good, she hasn't really needed many corrections, you can start to use the T button as a warning feature. So if she does something that may warrant a correction in the future but doesn't quite warrant one yet, you can use the T button to say, hey, knock it off, or you're going to get a correction if you continue to do that. So the T button is the vibrate feature, and it can be used as a warning in the future once you've worked with her a while and once you've practiced with her. So those are the buttons on the side. And then on the back of this remote, you'll see that L button in the center. We press and hold that one to turn our remote on and off. But if we just tap it, it's going to turn the flashlight feature on. So if you just tap it once, it's going to flash that light. If you press it a second time, it's going to turn that flashlight on continuously. And if you tap it a third time, it will shut that flashlight off. This can just be used if you let Millie out at night and you want to be able to see her. Then next to that button is a small M/C button. That is the momentary or continuous button on her remote. You'll see on her screen here it has a small M. That means that her collar is on momentary, so no matter how long I press and hold this button, it's just going to give her a momentary correction. She doesn't need the continuous feature, so there's no need to press that M/C button at all. Then you'll see on the top here, there's this dial. It is locked in at level 32 right now, and that's the level that worked for Millie here and on her field trips. If you need to change that, maybe you get her home and 32 just seems like too much, or you get home and 32, maybe you were playing rough with her and 32 doesn't seem like enough, you can try changing her level a little bit. So to do that, you will press and hold the dial down until you see that number flash. That automatically just changed to 58 just based on how I was holding this. That's why we always lock the dial once it's at the level that we want. So her level is 32. And if you need to change that, maybe you get her home and 32 doesn't seem like enough, you can try going up to 35. If you're at home and 32 seems like too much, try just moving her down to 30 and seeing how that works, and then maybe go down to 25 if that still seems like too much. But 32 is the level that has worked for her while she was here and on her field trips. So then I'm going to set it back at level 32, and then I'm going to lock this in place. So I'm just going to press and hold it until it flashes again. Now I can move that dial and it is locked in place, not going anywhere. So those are the features of her remote collar. And then on her remote here, this will flash green every couple seconds to let you know that it's on and charged. If it flashes yellow or red, that just means it needs to put on the charger for a little bit. She can wear it first thing in the morning, you put it on her. She can wear it till the end of the day when you put her to bed. And it'll usually stay charged for about 2 days like that, as long as you're shutting it off at night when you take it off of her. To charge these, there is a charging port here underneath the collar. And then on the remote, on the back of the remote, there is also a charging port. You can charge them both at the same time. I'll show you the collar in the box once we get to that part. Then she also has her bungee, so you can take this on and off of her. It has this strap here so that it makes sure that it never gets too tight on her. And this is the normal buckle strap that goes on and off, so if she grows any or loses any weight, you can take this part off, adjust it, and put it back on her, and then go back to using this afterwards. And then in her box on the back of it here first is a number and an email you can call or contact to get the 2-year warranty that we send home with the collars. And then in the box here, you have the normal strap that the collar came with. That is just this belt buckle part. It does not have this or this on there. And then there is her charger here. Again, you can charge both at the same time. And then over here, we have little prongs here that are attached underneath the collar. These are the regular ones. These are the ones that are a little bit longer. Millie's coat isn't really thick enough that she would need these longer ones, but they're here if you need them. And there's also a little tool in this bag to help change them. And then under all of that, there is an instruction manual in case you want to read through all this more in depth. So those are the features of her collars. Once you get her home, I'm going to recommend that you keep her on a leash in the house for the first couple weeks. I'm going to practice everything on leash first with her. When she was here with me, she learned everything on leash first, and then we slowly introduced the off leash as we went along. So I'm going to recommend that you do the same since you're a different person and the respect doesn't transfer from me to you. I'm going to recommend that you practice on leash with her first. That way she gets a stronger bond with you and understands, oh hey, even though I'm with dad now, I still have to listen. So on leash first with the prong collar and a leash. You can still have her wear the remote collar, but use the leash more for her corrections than the remote collar. And then after a couple of weeks, if she's getting really good at everything with you, you can fade out that leash in the house and just use her remote collar. And then just use her prong and her leash when you take her for walks or you take her out in public where she needs to walk next to you. But be sure to have fun with Millie. She's a fun dog. She likes to play. She likes to play tug. She likes to get that energy out. So be sure to have fun with her, reward her for her commands, be excited with her, but also be sure to be firm with her corrections. She can be a little pushy at times where she's like, I don't feel like doing that. Make sure that you're firm. If you ask her to do something, make sure that she does it. And if not, we just give her a small correction to communicate, hey, you're not in charge anymore and you still have to listen even if you don't feel like doing that right now. So make sure to be firm with her, but also be sure to reward her for her commands, pay her for doing a good job, and be sure to have fun with her. So have fun and stay consistent.